One consequence of this postulate which follows from the equation of the general relativity, it is a prediction of moving ripples of the space-time or the gravitational waves, which indirect evidence for these waves have been found in the motion of the Herschel-Taylor binary system. For example, experiments attempting to directly measure these waves are ongoing at the LIGO and Virgo collaborations. LIGO scientists reported the first such direct observation of the gravitational waves on 14th September 2015. And relativity theory leads to the cosmological question of what shape the universe is and whether where space came from. It appears that the space was created in the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago and has been expanding ever since. The overall shape of the space is not known, but the space is known to be expanding very rapidly due to the cosmic inflation. The measurement of the physical space has long been important, although earlier societies developed a measuring system, international system of the units such as SI units, and now the most common system of the units used in the measuring of the space and is almost universally used. Currently, the standard space interval called a standard meter or simply meter is defined as a distance traveled by the light in vacuum during a time interval of exactly about 1299 99 kilometers of a second. This definition, occupied with the space definition of the second, is based on the special theoretical relativity in which the speed of the light plays the role of the fundamental constant of nature. Now we will discuss about the geographical space. Geography is a branch of the science concerned with identifying and describing places on the earth, utilizing spatial awareness to try to understand why things exist in specific locations. Cartography is a mapping of the spaces to allow better navigation for visualization purposes and to act as a locational device. Geostatics applies statistical concepts to collected spatial data of the Earth to create an estimate for unobserved phenomena. Geographical space is often considered as land and can have a relation to the ownership usage, while some culture asserts the rights to the individual in terms of ownership. Other cultures will identify with a communal approach to the land ownership, while still other cultures such as Australian aboriginals, rather than asserting ownership rights to the land, invert the relationship and consider that they are in fact owned by the land. Spatial planning is a method of regulating the use of the space at land level, with a decision made at regional, national, and international levels. Space can also impact human and cultural behavior, being an important factor in the agriculture and architecture, where it will impact on the design of the buildings and structures and farming. Ownership of the space is not restricted to the land. Ownership of the airspace and water is decided internationally. Other forms of the ownership have been recently asserted to other spaces, for example, to the ratio bands of the electromagnetic spectrum or to the cyberspace. Public space is a term used to define areas of the land as collectively owned by the community and managed in their name by dedicated objects. Such places are open to all, while private properties and land collectively owned by an individual or a company are their own use and play. Abstract space is term used in geography to refer to a hyperlithic space characterized by complete homogeneity. When modelizing activity of the behavior, it is a conceptual tool used to limit extraneous variables such as terrain. And now we'll discuss the philosophy of the about the space. And physiologists first began to study the way space is perceived in the middle of the 19th century. Those now considered with such studies regard it as distinct branch of the philosophy, and physiologists analyzing the perception of the space are concerned with how recognition of an object's physical appearance or its interaction are perceived. See, for example, in the visual space, other more specialized topics studied including a modal perception and object perception, and the perception of the surroundings is important due to its necessary relevance to the survival, especially with the regards to the hunting and self-preservation, as well as simply one's idea of the personal space. Several space-related habits have been identified, including agoraphobia for the fear of open space, astrophobia, the fear of terrestrial space, and the claustrophobia, that is a fear of enclosed spaces. The understanding of the three-dimensional space in humans is thought to be learned during infinity using unconscious interference and is closely related to the hand-eye coordination. The visual ability to perceive the world in three dimensions is called the depth perception. In the social sciences, space has been studied in the social sciences from the perspectives of many urban civilizations and many urban theories. Uh, and those theories account for the effect of the history of the colonialism, transatlantic slavery, and globalization on our understanding and experience of the space and place. The topic has gained attention since the 1980s after the publication of the Henry Left Wave, The Production of the Space. In this book, he applies Marxist ideas about the production of the commodities and accumulation of the capital to discuss the space as a social product. And he focus is on the multiple and overlapping social process that produces space. In this book, the condition of the post-modernity describes what he terms the time-space compression. This is the effect of the technological advancement and capitalism on our perception of the space, of the time, space, and distance. Charges in the modes of production and the consumption of the capital effect are the affected by developments in the transformation and technology. These advances create relationships across time and space, new markets, and group of wealthy elites in urban centers, all of which inhabit distances and affect our perception of the linearity and distance. In this book, Third Space, Edward Soja describes space and spatially as an illegal and a neglected aspect of what he calls the littoral of man. The three moods that describe how we inhabit, experience, and understand the world. He argues that the critical theories in the humanities and the social sciences and studies about the history and the social dimension of our lived experience, neglecting the spiritual dimension. He built Henry Life various work to address the dualistic way in which the humans understand space as their material physical represented imaged light space and stochastic space are terms that account for the complex ways in which the humans understand and navigate place, which fire pace and second pace suggest terms for the material and imaged spaces relativity to the fully economic.